Hello, I'm Maria from the Rich and Simple Living. I've got half of Sian next to me because we're going to do a few questions. I'm questioning Sian about how she's found homeschooling this past year. But Sian is quite shy, so she says, I don't want to look into the camera. Don't move your chair right away, we're not going to hear you. So, yeah, she says, I'll just sit there and look occasionally and you'll just see the side of her. Sorry, she's shy. But anyway, like I said, we're going to do some questions and answers. So I'm going to question Sian about how she's found homeschooling this past year, because this was Sian's first year homeschooling. As many of you will know, she was in primary school before that. So she is currently in year 7, which is in England is ages 11 to 12. I have to stop and think. And then from September, because we have the summer break, from September she'll be year 8, which is ages 12 to 13. So this is her first year homeschooling, and so I'm just going to ask her a little bit about it and let's discuss a little bit. So first question, Sian. She's here. You can see half of her. So I've wrote these down if you wonder what I'm looking at. So are you glad that you did homeschooling? Are you pleased that you chose it?
Yeah.
You are, you like it. You didn't want to go to secondary school, or would you prefer to go to secondary school?
No.
No, you prefer homeschooling.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you like best about homeschooling?
I'm at home.
I'm at home. Well, yeah, I suppose that's a good answer as any. But other than being at home, what do you like about being at home doing your schooling?
Yeah.
Do you find that you can work at your own pace and things like that? You're not pushed along like when you was at school?
Yeah.
You was sort of, teacher was always on to you, keep up, or you can't do it right and all this, and you get sort of left out then, don't you, because they concentrate on the ones that can do it. Whereas like with your maths, you weren't so good at that, was you, and you got left behind. So you find being at home you can do it better at your own pace. Like when we did maths, when we couldn't do the year 7 maths, we just scrapped the book, didn't we? Didn't bother with the book, and we took you to things that you could do better, just basic things. Yeah. So what do you think of your curriculum then, the lessons that you do? Because you do, I can't think of all of what you do offhand, geography, German,
Science.
you do science, yeah.
Geography.
Yeah, English, spellings, grammar, punctuation, history. How could we forget history? Yeah, so you do sort of a few things that are on the curriculum, don't you? You don't do everything that secondary school would be doing on the curriculum, but you do the basics at Key Stage 3, don't you? So do you enjoy doing them? You're happy with the ones that you've got? Because we throw other things in as well, don't we? We like topical things and whatever is happening, you know, or if Sian chooses a topic, we'll do things like that. Because Sian does a structured work in the morning, and she does some self-led work in the afternoon, which we'll talk a bit about in a minute. So you're quite happy with your curriculum? You wouldn't change that? Well, I know she would. One of them anyway. She goes maths, yeah. So, but we have to do that. So that leads us into the question: what is your favourite lesson? Or favourite if you've got more than one?
History.
Yeah, history.
German.
Yeah, you like doing German. Although I can never pronounce half the words. I'm getting good at it, I am. You've been writing some German today, haven't you? So yeah, we have to use Alexa. We use Alexa to do all the pronunciation for us, and then we try and copy it, which can be a bit of a tongue twister sometimes, because the German language seems to have words that can be 2 or 3 times longer than a word we're saying. So it's a bit of a mouth twister, isn't it, sometimes, Sian?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so that's your favourite then, history and German you like best. And I definitely knew you'd say history. And I know what you're going to say when I ask, so which is your worst? I didn't even have to finish the question. Her worst lesson is maths. But I insist we do a bit because it's important she does some, because obviously when she grows up, she's got to be able to handle money and shop, pay bills, you know, that sort of thing. So as long as she can do the basics, I'm happy with that. And this is what I keep saying to her, you just need to do the basics. And it's surprising what eventually will sink in, you know, and just to help her when she's older. So we will still be doing maths, I'm afraid, Sean. But at the basic level. We won't ever try and push you beyond that. Not unless you suddenly turn around and, you know, become a maths genius.
Never.
But yeah. I mean, the thing is, as like I say, later on, if suddenly she does get more accomplished at it and wants to do it, then, and if she wanted to do her GCSEs, then we could get a tutor in to bring her up to where she needs to be. So I'm not worried about it in any way. I'm not worried at all, as long as she's got the basics, you know. So yeah, so if you could change anything about homeschooling, what would you change?
Maths.
Maths, we always come back to that. Well, if we just took maths to one side and we get at maths, is there anything different you'd like to do homeschooling, or things maybe you'd like to add into it?
Nothing really.
You like it the way it is?
Apart from maths, yeah.
Apart from that. Never mind. So we'll talk a bit about your activities now then, for your self-led education. Now, I don't always check in on what Sian does. Sometimes she goes upstairs in an afternoon to do her self-led studies. I know she does reading. She's got some good reading. We should have brought some down really to show, shouldn't we, some of the reading books that you're doing. But she does do reading. She has like study books, sounds like school books, but they're not study books. They're like factual books, things like that. You know, like a bit like a biography type book, real life things. Like the Romanovs, that's one of your latest ones you've been doing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've had 2.
You've read 2. So, because she had one book at Christmas, and was it your sister bought your book on it?
Yeah.
And she's been looking at that. She was interested in that period, wasn't you? About the Romanovs and Tsar Nicholas.
Yeah, I'm in between 2 self-led. That's the Romanov and the Napoleonic Wars.
So you swing into the Napoleonic Wars as well at the minute.
Mm.
So all the things Sian's interested in, she'll do in her self-led studies. She'll go and get books. You can watch documentaries on Netflix as documentaries. I'm not sure if Amazon Prime does. And obviously Googles a lot of things. Sian also writes essays, don't you? You take yourself off upstairs sometimes and write essays. You've done it on World War II and that, haven't you? Sometimes she's writing here, doing her English work, and oh, my arm's aching. Oh dear, I can't carry on, Mum. I'm going to have to stop. My arm's killing me. Then she'll go for her afternoon self-led work and decide to write an essay on World War II, almost the whole history of it in half a book. But her arm's fine. No problem.
No, and I wrote like 2 or 3 pages of National Anthem of Empires.
Yeah, that's it. You've been doing studying the empires as well, different empires of the world, and the national anthems for different countries and things. Not just the current national anthems, but national anthems from the past, because some countries, as they've changed hands, have changed anthems and things like that, haven't they? So she's been studying all of that herself. Or artwork. She does artwork, as most of you know. She likes to do country humans, and she's been doing a lot of them, and she's been practicing sketching them lately, because most of the ones you'll have seen are all coloured in, which she's been practicing doing sketching and shading, doing them in black and white, which look quite good. So maybe we'll see more of that next term when we incorporate it into lessons a bit. We'll show you some of them then when she does them in the big book, because at the moment she's just done them on odd sheets of paper for her own self sort of thing. But you've seen all of the coloured ones, they're all in the school folders. So yeah, there's that. What else do you do? One thing Sian doesn't do is craft. She's got quite a few craft things she can be doing, but she doesn't do crafts, do you? Are you not fond of craft work?
Mm-hmm.
We bought her at Christmas this nice wolves, because you like wolves, don't you? One of her favourite animals are wolves.
It is my favourite animal.
It is your very favourite animal, there we go. And we bought her this picture, what is it like? Sequins. A sequin art. And it's in silver, the wolf is, and it looks lovely on the box. And it's not been touched yet, not been done, so I'm thinking maybe that's something to work on, you know, for homeschooling. Get that done, because I said to her it looked lovely done, and perhaps we could get a frame and frame it, and nice on a wall then. So yeah, so there's that. And I mean, you've had some embroidery sets, haven't you? But she's not so keen on them. She's not really into them. She did knitting for a while, but then she gave up on it. But other than that, you don't really go into making things or anything, do you? She's not big on crafting. I think the last time she did any crafting was when we did the little Easter boxes for the table at Easter that we filled with little chocolate eggs and chicks to go on our dinner table. That was the last time she did any crafting, and she got bored of that. I ended up doing most of it. So you're not a crafting person?
Actually, I've also been looking into Sweden and the Great Northern War.
Sweden and the Great Northern War.
Yeah.
It's never ending, isn't it? All the wars and that. Because Sian does study a lot of different wars and periods.
There's like a war every year, Mum.
Yeah. So she does study a lot of that. I just said to her yesterday, I've got the perfect job for you, Sian. She said, what's that? I said, a military historian. Well, what will I have to do? Does it involve maths? And not necessarily. Not if it's something you take upon yourself to do. Yeah. So what other things do you do self-led? Be nice if she came forward a bit, wouldn't it?
Probably falls for a
She's
bit.
supposed to have been peeking in a little bit.
I have been.
Yeah, she's moved further away, I think. So she's been on this driving game called Forstner as well. She says, it's quite educational, Mum. It teaches you to drive and the layout of the roads and everything. Well, every time I've seen a car's a battered wreck. I said, don't think it's teaching you anything. I want my money back. So no, that wasn't so good. But she does enjoy doing that. So what other things do you do when you're up there in your room?
Already said that I do some sketching.
Yeah, you've started sketching recently, which we'll probably see more of now than in the schoolwork.
I was done a bit of the sack of Rome.
You were learning about the sack of Rome.
1527 it was.
Oh. So which is your favourite wartime topic? Which is your favourite war period?
Probably World War One.
World War One? I thought actually you was going to say World War Two.
No, probably World War
World
One.
War One. So what makes that stand out to you above the rest?
Like it just sounds like, yes, World War Two is interesting, but that's more like, oh, Japan bombed this place and America bombed this place, whereas with World War One it's like when they gassed the Russians, they look like zombies and they look more cool. Yeah, but the thing is though, it's like less bombs than World War Two. World War Two is more like this place bombed that, but whereas with World War One, it's like they dug trenches and then they literally
it was trench warfare, wasn't it?
It's like more.
Yeah.
It's more than just bombs and tanks than World War Two was.
Yeah, it was trench warfare. So yeah, Sian's interested in the wars. So I think that's it really. I mean, you're enjoying your home education and she's looking forward to year 8. We've got to work on what we're doing for curriculum. We're sticking to the same curriculum we've been using, the books we're using, because they're Key Stage 3 books. And so that means they're supposed to last for years 7, 8 and 9. I've got a feeling we'll have finished them by the end of year 8. So we'll be continuing with them and obviously we'll be putting other things in with it. We've got to work out yet. I've got some ideas, but what else we can put in with it. But I'll let you know that. We'll do a video about that when we've got all the curriculum totally planned out. So yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to say about homeschooling, Sian? Oh, and she likes getting out of bed a bit later, I do know that.
Hey.
She moans when I shout her. Everybody else is in school by the time I shout Sian up. In fact, homeschooling does throw you off, because I was looking at the kitchen window this morning and I saw my granddaughter going to school and I thought, oh, she's going early. It was 8:30 and I thought, she's going early. And that's how I used to, having Sian starting later I am, because I forgot now how early they actually do start school. And I'm so used to Sian starting later. Because she does everything so quick, you don't need to start early. You only need a few hours to do what you're doing, so you don't need to start
I
early.
actually get less headaches than I did at school.
That's true, yeah. That's something Sian used to
I used to always feel sick and have lots of headaches.
Yeah, she did. Especially on a Monday. She'd come home with migraines, we'd have to dose her up with Calpol, and she'd go to bed and sleep because she'd have a raging headache and felt sickly and horrible. And this was every week, all the time. Since she's been home, she's not been like that at all.
And a few times I was actually sick.
You're more relaxed, aren't you, at home? And I mean, the only thing that's giving you headaches at the moment is when you get hay fever and it's nosebleeds.
Sucks.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, you are more relaxed, aren't you, at home? And you haven't got all the hustle bustle of the classroom and all the children and everything, because you didn't always get on with all of that, did you? No, she didn't. No. So we'd always said that we'd homeschool her. In fact, when she was in year 4, we nearly took her out then, because she was having a rough time with some of the teachers then, weren't you? And teaching assistants, actually. I was teaching assistants, and you know.
I mean, the teacher wasn't actually that bad, it was just the assistant.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even need assistants when I was at school. Now schools need assistants, and they're no brighter than the average pupil, I think. So, yeah, they're just picking her, slamming her hands on the table and telling her she was stupid and that because she couldn't do maths. You know, I won't tell you what I said. Oh, yeah, I was none too happy.
The one in year 6 like banged his head on the wall.
Yeah, teacher in year 6 banged his head on the wall.
Then you can't be that thick.
It's thick. So, she don't get that here. I've not banged my head on the wall yet. But yeah, no, it's much better for her because she can do things at her own pace and do what she's interested in. Doesn't have to follow any curriculum at all. You can just pick and choose things that you're interested in.
I didn't always feel like the stupid one, because when the teacher in year 6 asked what's equivalent to a right angle, another kid said a left angle, even though it's not a thing. So, and when we had a column of like amphibians, mammals and like reptiles and all that, the teacher asked what column we come under, and the same kid who said left angle said amphibians.
There you are, what were you worrying about? So yeah, they're just a few questions. Thought, you know, we just see how Sian was doing and hear it from her. If you could hear her very well. I mean, I'm next to her, I can hear her. I don't know how well you've heard her because she refuses to be seen. But
I've been caught a few times off guard.
Doing what?
No, I've only been looking out the window while I was listening to you, and I look back and I'm on there.
Oh, right, you're looking out the window.
Oops.
Yeah, so we'll wrap it up at that then. I just thought it'd be nice for you to know how she's enjoyed her first year of homeschooling, which she has, and another opportunity for me to ask her, are you happy doing it? Do you want to go to secondary school? And as you heard, she said no, she's happy to be at home, relaxed to be at home. So now all we've got to do is bounce into year 8. I'll see how that one goes. So anyway, that's that for today. I hope you've heard us okay. I've actually popped the microphone between the two of us, hoping it picks us up better. So I don't know. So anyway, we'll leave it at that, and we shall see you now tomorrow. Or I will see you tomorrow. And so have a good day. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.